Welcome to the Deep Dive Cast. This is where we unpack the world's most impactful business and self-help bestsellers. Get ready to go beyond the pages and transform your life. Let's dive in.
Okay, picture this. You've got a manager, right? And Todd, a star employee, but kind of inconsistent. Todd asks for some special training. Now, the manager could go win, lose, and say, nope, hit your numbers first. What happens? Todd's probably demotivated.
Yeah, likely, or
the win-win path. The manager says, okay, let's tie this training to hitting certain milestones. Now you've got a motivated employee who's growing. Which one sounds like long-term success?
Clearly the second one. It sets up a better dynamic.
Exactly. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've laid the groundwork with those private victory habits, being proactive, beginning with the end in mind, putting first things first. That built independence.
And now we pivot. We move towards interdependence, towards working effectively with others.
Which brings us to habit 4. Think win-win. And you mentioned this isn't just like a negotiation tactic.
Not at all. Covey calls it a total philosophy of human interaction. So our mission today is figuring out how we find that path where everyone can win, even in a world that often feels, well, pretty competitive.
But there's a catch, isn't there? A prerequisite.
A crucial one. You really can't skip those private victories and expect to succeed publicly. Without that self-mastery, that inner core of integrity and purpose.
You end up in a bad spot.
Right. You either become lose-win, basically a doormat, always giving in, or you become win-lose, kind of aggressive, always needing to beat the other person.
So habit 4 is that first real step into what Covey calls interpersonal leadership. Moving from just, how do I get what I want?
To, how can we work together to create something better for both of us? It's a fundamental shift.
Okay, so Covey talks about these different ways we approach interactions, these paradigms.
Yeah, 6 paradigms of human interaction. Think of them as the default scripts running in our heads. Understanding them is key to seeing where we might be stuck.
So what are I know win-win is the goal, but what are the others?
Well, there's win-lose. Life's a competition, a zero-sum game. For me to win, you have to lose. Think of like a sports match maybe, or that manager just forcing their way.
Okay, that breeds resentment, I imagine.
Definitely. Then there's its opposite, lose-win. The doormat philosophy you mentioned. You prioritize getting approval over getting what you need. I lose, you win.
That sounds like a recipe for bitterness down the line.
It often is. Suppressed feelings, passive aggression. Then you get lose-lose. This is vengeful. If I'm going down, you're coming with me. Like a really bitter divorce where people destroy assets just to spite each other.
Ouch. Destructive.
Yeah, totally. And then there's just win. Focus only on your own outcome. You don't really care if the other person wins or loses. You just want yours. Leads to isolation eventually.
So win-lose, lose-win, lose-lose-win. None of them sound great for long-term relationships or collaborations.
Exactly. They're ultimately dysfunctional in interdependent situations like a marriage, a team project, a company, and its suppliers. Which brings us back to win-win.
The goal, seeking mutual benefit.
Yes. It's about collaboration, creativity, looking for a third alternative that's actually better than what either person could come up with alone.
And there's one more variation.
Right, kind of the highest form. Win-win or no deal. If you genuinely explore possibilities and can't find a solution that benefits both parties,
You just walk away.
you agree to disagree agreeably, no deal. This preserves the relationship. Maybe you can work together on something else later. It takes integrity.
Okay, that makes sense. And you've got a summary of these in the show notes for people to check out.
Yep, a quick reference guide. The key takeaway is that in any situation where you rely on others, win-win or no deal are really the only sustainable options.
So what drives us towards one paradigm over another? What's underneath that choice?
Now we get to the engine room. Covey argues it comes down to a fundamental mindset, scarcity versus abundance.
Scarcity mentality. Sounds like thinking there isn't enough to go around.
Precisely. The world is a fixed pie. If you get a big slice, that means less for me. It leads to comparing yourself, jealousy, maybe hoarding resources or credit. It's rooted in insecurity.
Versus the abundance mentality.
That's the belief, deep down, that there is plenty for everyone. It comes from a strong inner sense of worth and security. Someone else's success isn't a threat. It can actually be inspiring.
So you're more willing to share, to collaborate, to be creative.
Exactly. You see possibilities for mutual gain. This abundance mentality is the psychological foundation, the soil, really, where win-win can actually grow.
And there's even some, brain science that hints at this?
Yeah, it's interesting. Some neuroscience suggests that while intense competition can light up stress areas in the brain, cooperation tends to activate reward centers. It kind of suggests our brains find collaboration inherently rewarding.
Fascinating. So, okay, abundance mentality is key. But win-win isn't just a mindset, is it? Covey says it's based on character.
Absolutely. It's not a technique you just slap on. It has to be genuine. He uses the analogy of a three-legged stool. It needs all three legs to be stable.
What are the legs?
First is integrity. Being true to yourself, your feelings, your values, your commitments. You have to know what your win actually is and be honest about it. If you betray yourself, how can others trust you?
Makes sense. What's the second leg?
Maturity. And Covey defines this beautifully as the balance between courage and consideration.
Courage and consideration. Explain that a bit.
Courage is the willingness to speak your truth, to state your needs and feelings, to advocate for your win. Consideration is the flip side. Having genuine respect for the other person's perspective, listening deeply, caring about their win.
And if that balance is off?
If you have high courage but low consideration, you're basically win-lose. A bully. High consideration but low courage, that's lose-win. The doormat. Maturity is finding that sweet spot in the middle.
Got it. And the third leg?
That brings us back to the abundance mentality. That core belief that finding a solution where both parties benefit is actually possible.
Integrity, maturity, abundance mentality. All three need to be strong.
Yes, and they reinforce each other. Character is the foundation.
Okay, this gives us a solid understanding of the philosophy. How do we start making this real? How do we actually do win-win? Any practical takeaways?
Definitely. Let's make it actionable. First, reframe your next negotiation or important interaction. Before you go in, take a moment. Write down what a win looks like for you.
Okay, know your own goals.
But then, and this is crucial, really try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. What does a win look like for them? What are their underlying needs or concerns? Your goal then becomes finding that third alternative we talked about.
So shift from opponents to partners looking for a shared solution.
Exactly. And second action. Find one win-win today, even in a small way. Actively look for a chance for mutual benefit in a simple interaction. Ask yourself, what's in it for them? And then maybe propose it.
Like helping a colleague with something tedious if they can help you with data entry. Or agreeing on their restaurant choice if you get to pick the movie.
Perfect examples. Small things like that build trust. They make deposits in what Covey calls the emotional bank account. It strengthens the relationship for bigger things later.
Right, so thinking win-win isn't passive or easy. It takes courage to believe in abundance, maturity to balance needs, and integrity to stand for our way, not just my way.
It really does. It requires creativity and strong character. But the payoff is huge. Sustainable success, deeper trust, and ultimately the foundation for synergy, which is the next habit.
But how do you actually figure out the other person's win? How do you build that trust and understanding effectively?
Well, that's the perfect lead into our next deep dive. We'll be exploring Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. It's all about empathy and deep listening.
Looking forward to that. For everyone listening, don't forget to check the show notes for that summary of the 6 paradigms. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Ever had that feeling? Walking away from a chat, totally, utterly misunderstood.
Oh, definitely. Like, you think you were crystal clear, but the other person heard something completely different.
Exactly. Like this manager, Sarah, giving feedback. She thought she was being helpful, but Mark, her team member, he just felt criticized.
Yeah, that disconnect is huge. They're both talking, sure, but there's no real connection happening.
That's the communication paradox we really want to tackle today. And the key, it's habit 5 from the 7 habits. Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
It's such a powerful one. Covey himself said if he had to pick just one principle, that would be it. Seek first to understand.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. Unpack that paradox. We'll look at why we need to diagnose before we prescribe, climb Covey's listening ladder, and hopefully give you some tools to really connect. And then crucially, be understood yourself.
Sounds like a plan. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with our default mode. Covey calls it autobiographical listening. Basically, we hear everything through our own story, right?
Mm-hmm. Always filtering, judging, getting ready to jump in with our own experience or advice.
It's like that rush to fix things before we even know it's actually broken.
You know, the optometrist analogy Covey uses is perfect here. Imagine going in saying your vision's blurry,
Yeah.
and the optometrist, without doing a single test, just hands over their glasses and says, here, try these. They work great for me.
You'd run a mile. You'd have zero confidence in that.
Exactly. You need the diagnosis first. You need to trust that before you can possibly trust the prescription.
So translate that to conversations. When we leap in with advice before really getting it, what's the impact?
Covey calls it relational malpractice. It sounds harsh, but it fits. You're prescribing without diagnosing. And fundamentally, that just tanks trust.
It's not just a nice-to-have skill, then, this listening thing.
Not at all. It's core. Think of it like a chain. Deep listening, that's the diagnosis, builds trust. And trust. That opens the door for influence. That's your effective prescription, your solution being heard.
But if you skip that first listening part,
The whole chain just collapses. No understanding, no trust, no influence. Simple as that.
okay, so how do we get better at diagnosing? How do we listen deeply?
Covey gives us this great framework, the 5 levels of listening. It's worth thinking about where you usually operate.
Let's break them down. Level 1 is ignoring, like literally not listening at all.
Right, then pretending, the uh-huhs and nods, but you're miles away.
Guilty sometimes. Then selective listening, only picking out the bits that interest you.
And then attentive listening. This is where a lot of us think we're doing great, really focusing on the words, the facts, the logic.
But Covey says there's a level beyond that, right?
Yes, level 5. Empathic listening. And this is the game changer. It's not just using your ears, it's using your eyes, your heart. Listening for the feeling, the meaning, the stuff not being said explicitly.
So attentive gets the what, but empathic gets the why and the how it feels.
Precisely. It gets the real message, the emotional data underneath the words. It's about understanding the person, not just the report. We've got a table in the show notes laying these out clearly.
And this empathy, it's more than just a technique, isn't it? It's got to be genuine.
Absolutely. It's an intent. A real desire to step inside someone else's world, their frame of reference, even for a moment.
You mentioned psychological error earlier. What's that about?
It's this fundamental human need, maybe second only to physical survival, to feel understood, validated, affirmed. When someone's upset or frustrated, they're often, emotionally suffocating.
And trying to reason with them then is pointless.
Totally pointless. You have to give them that psychological air first. Let them breathe by showing you understand. Then you can talk logic.
Okay, let's make it practical. Your employee, Mark, says, man, I'm so sick of this project. How does this play out?
Well, the lowest level response is just mimicking. You're sick of this project. Doesn't do much.
Okay.
Level 2, refreezing content. So the project isn't going well. A bit better shows you heard the facts.
Right.
Level 3, reflecting feeling. Wow, that sounds really frustrating. Now you're getting somewhere, acknowledging the emotion.
I can see how that helps.
But the gold standard, level 4, combines them. Rephrasing content and reflecting feeling. Okay, so it sounds like the project's hitting some serious roadblocks, content, and you're feeling incredibly frustrated and maybe worried about it. Feeling. Is that right?
Okay. That feels really validating, like you actually get it.
Exactly. It provides that deep validation, takes the heat out, and opens things up for actually solving the problem together. Again, there's a guide to these stages in the show notes.
Crucially, though, habit 5 isn't just about understanding. It's seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Right. It's a two-way street. Understanding takes consideration, empathy, but being understood, that takes courage. You need both for true effectiveness.
How does that courage part work?
It connects beautifully to how persuasion actually works. Think now it's a carriage and Greeks. Ethos, pathos, logos.
Credibility, emotion, logic.
Spot on. Your ethos, your credibility, your character, that's built when you listen deeply first. People trust you because they feel you respect them.
Yeah.
Your pathos, the emotional connection, that comes from reflecting their feelings accurately. You get them on an emotional level.
Makes sense.
Only then, after you've established ethos and pathos, can your logos, your brilliant logic, your solution, actually land effectively.
So we usually lead with logos, with our solution, like Sarah did.
And we wonder why it falls flat. Habit 5 flips it. Build the runaway of trust and connection first. Earn the right to share your logic.
Okay, let's bring this home. How can listeners practice this? What's the gym workout?
2 things to try. First, the heartfelt listening practice. Next time you're in a meaningful chat, make a pact with yourself. No advice, no probing questions, no Me Too stories.
Just listen.
Just listen. Your only goal is to identify the core emotion the other person is expressing. Then simply reflect it back. Sounds like you're really excited, or I hear how painful that was. Just offer that psychological air, see what happens.
Okay, I like that. Simple focus. And the second one?
The paraphrasing for clarity technique. This is practicing that level 4 response. Use this basic script. Okay, so what I think I hear you saying is briefly rephrase their main point, and it seems like you're feeling. Name the emotion you sense. Is that about right?
That sounds powerful. It proves you listened, lets them correct you if you're off, and validates them hugely.
It's incredibly effective for de-escalating tension and building that bridge towards a shared solution.
Yeah. So wrapping this up, we started feeling misunderstood, like Sarah and Mark. We saw how often it stems from that rush to prescribe that autobiographical listening. We explored the levels of listening, aiming for that empathic sweet spot, giving that crucial psychological air.
And then finding the courage, built on that understanding, to express our own perspective, effectively using ethos, pathos, and then logos.
It really feels like the foundation for working well with others.
Absolutely. Habit 5 is the key to public victory. You can't genuinely think win-win habit 4 if you haven't first done the work to deeply understand what a win even looks like for the other person.
Ah, good connection.
And it sets the stage perfectly for what comes next, because when you combine that win-win intention with this deep empathic understanding, well, that's where the magic happens. Yeah, you move beyond just your way or my way. You start creating something new, something better than either of you imagined alone. That's the prerequisite for synergy. And that's our next deep dive.
Welcome to the deep dive. So, ever find yourself just completely stuck in that my way versus your way kind of argument?
It's frustrating, right?
Absolutely. Those deadlocks or, weak compromises where nobody's really happy.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving into something that could change all that for you.
We are. We're looking at habit 6, Synergize. And it's a pretty radical alternative, actually. The mission here is to show you how to unlock solutions that are way better than what anyone initially thought possible.
Okay, synergy. We hear that word a lot, maybe too much, especially in business. What are we really talking about here? Let's unpack it.
Right. Good question. Forget the buzzword for a second. At its heart, it's simply creative cooperation.
Creative cooperation, okay.
Yeah, it's this principle that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Stephen Covey famously put it as $1 plus someone equals 3, or maybe 10, or heck, even 1,000 in some cases.
Okay, I get that. Like, think about your favorite band, right? You've got talented musicians, sure, but when they play together,
it creates this whole other thing, this song, that's way more complex and powerful than just, bass plus drums plus guitar.
Precisely. That's synergy in action. And here's a really crucial point. Synergy is not the same as compromise.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about compromise. It's often like $1 plus $1, 1 5 or 5 cents. You meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and usually everyone feels like they lost something.
Right. It's often rooted in that feeling of loss. Synergy, though, it's about creating a new middle, a higher place, a solution that literally didn't exist before you started talking.
A third option.
A third alternative, exactly. It's like this destination that most people, they don't even realize is on the map of possibilities when they disagree.
So how do we find this hidden destination? What fuels synergy?
It comes down to differences. See, the trap we fall into is wanting uniformity. Sameness feels comfortable, safer maybe?
Sure, less conflict usually.
Yeah, but it's creatively sterile. Real innovation, those breakthrough ideas, they almost always spark from the creative friction of different viewpoints rubbing together.
Wow, okay. So that comfort zone of everyone agreeing, that's actually holding us back.
In many ways, yes. Which leads us to the absolute core of habit 6, valuing differences.
Not just tolerating them.
No, actively seeking them out, seeing them as maybe your greatest asset in finding a better solution. Think about it. Someone else's unique perspective is like a gift. It shows you a part of the reality you literally cannot see from where you stand.
And when you combine those views,
you get a much richer, more complete picture. Now, this takes vulnerability, right? You have to be open. And that's why it builds on the private victory habits 1, 2, and 3. That self-mastery gives you the security to be open.
Got it. So synergy isn't just some clever tactic you deploy. It's like the peak of a mountain you have to climb first.
That's a great way to put it. It's the capstone of what Covey calls the public victory. It's the result of doing other things first and doing them well.
And what are those other things? The foundation.
2 critical foundation stones. First, you need the win-win motive. That's habit 4, a genuine gut-level desire for solutions that benefit everyone involved. And that's fueled by an abundance mentality, believing there's plenty to go around.
Okay, win-win intent first.
Yes. And second, you need the path of empathy. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And this isn't just waiting politely for your turn to talk.
Right, it's that deep listening.
Deep, active, sincere listening, trying to really see the world through the other person's eyes. That's what melts defensiveness. It opens up the space where collaboration can actually happen.
And the order matters.
Oh, absolutely vital. Habit 4 sets your intent, win-win. Habit 5 builds the connection and understanding. Only then, on that foundation, can you actually achieve habit 6, synergy.
Okay, so you've got the win-win motive. You've truly understood the other side. Then you reach for this ultimate goal. Covey's third alternative.
That's it. Not my way, not your way, but our way. A new way, a higher way, a demonstrably better solution you create together.
And how does trust play into actually getting there?
It's everything. The possibility of finding that third alternative is directly tied to the level of trust. Covey talks about a communication ladder.
Okay.
So like low trust, you get defensive communication, it's adversarial, $1 plus lows, it might even equal 0 or less. Nothing gets solved.
Yes, I've been there.
We all have medium trust. You might get respectful communication. People are polite. They compromise. That's your $1 plus $1.55. It's okay, but not great.
Right.
But high trust, that unlocks synergistic communication. It's open, it's creative, people feel safe being vulnerable. That's where $1 plus $1 can equal 3 or 10 or more. We'll actually pop a table summarizing this in the show notes for you. It's really helpful.
Great. So back to that deadlock meeting scenario.
Yeah.
You shift your mindset to win-win.
Yeah.
You genuinely seek first to understand. Then you're actually ready to start co-creating something new, that third alternative.
You got it. That's the pathway.
All right, this is fascinating, but let's make it super practical.
Yeah.
How can you listening right now start using habit 6 like today or tomorrow?
Okay, 2 concrete ideas for you. First, your next group discussion, maybe at work, maybe with family. Consciously shift your role. Don't just be an advocate for your idea.
Be a facilitator.
Exactly, a facilitator of synergy. Go out of your way to ask for the most different, even seemingly conflicting viewpoints. Listen hard with empathy. Then ask something like, okay, how could we combine the best parts of Sarah's idea and the core of Mike's concern to create something even stronger?
I like that. Actively looking for the combination. Okay, what's number 2?
Second idea, reframe conflict internally. The very next time you feel yourself digging into a disagreement, stop for a second and mentally relabel that situation as an opportunity for synergy.
Just changing the label in your head.
Yeah. Ask yourself, okay, what's the third alternative potentially hiding behind this tension? Just that little internal shift can move you out of a defensive crouch and into a more creative, open state.
Simple, but probably quite powerful.
It can be. But look, synergy isn't easy. Covey calls it the highest activity in life. It's demanding. It takes immense personal energy, a lot of patience, real creativity.
Yeah, it sounds like truly high-level stuff. Which, brings up a really important question for you. If this takes so much energy and vulnerability, how do you possibly keep doing it? How do you sustain that capacity for creative engagement day after day without completely burning out?
That is the perfect question, and it leads us directly to the final habit,
which we'll explore next time in our final deep dive of this series. Habit 7, Sharpen the Saw. How you renew yourself to keep playing at this high level.
Exactly.
Until then, our challenge to you is practice valuing the differences you encounter. Look for those opportunities for synergy. See you next time on The Deep Dive.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. So for weeks, we've been exploring these habits, right? Moving from dependence to independence and then into interdependence.
Yeah, that whole progression.
But what actually, fuels it all? What stops us from just burning out? How do we make sure these gains actually last and, grow?
That sustainability piece is key.
Exactly. So today we're digging into habit 7, Sharpen the Saw.
The woodcutter.
You got it. That classic parable. The guy sawing, like mad, sweating, getting nowhere.
And when someone asks why he doesn't just sharpen the saw,
he says, I can't. I'm too busy sawing.
Sounds painfully familiar sometimes, doesn't it?
It really does. How often are we like that? Just too busy doing the work to invest in our actual ability to do the work?
Yeah.
And this is right where Stephen Covey's PPC balance comes in. Remember that. production. The P, that's the results you want, like the felled trees.
Right. And PC production capability, that's the asset making it happen. The saw, in this case.
And Covey's big point is that our greatest asset, our most vital PC is, well, it's us, ourselves. So Sharpen the Saw isn't just about avoiding burnout. It's actually about making everything else more effective.
And it's crucial to get that. It's not passive rest. It's not just, taking a holiday. That's like putting the saw down.
Yeah.
But it's still dull when you pick it back up.
Good point. So it's active.
Totally active. It's an active process of renewal. Think attending a seminar, really getting into a challenging book, learning a new skill, stuff that directly increases your capacity.
Okay, so it's the investment that makes the rest of the work better.
Or even possible.
Exactly. It's fundamental.
All right. So if it's active, how do we actually do it? How do we sharpen ourselves? Covey lays out that framework, the 4 dimensions.
Yeah, the 4 rooms idea, Rumor Godin's quote, right? Everyone's a house with 4 rooms.
Physical, mental, spiritual, and social emotional. You got to visit every room every day, basically keep them aired out.
Otherwise, the whole house kind of weakens. Let's break those down quickly. First, physical, pretty straightforward, yeah. Taking care of the body.
Exercise, nutrition, rest. The basics, but you need that balance. Endurance, flexibility, strength.
Then mental. This is about keeping the mind sharp. Lifelong learning, not just stopping after school.
Reading, visualizing, planning, writing. Like Churchill said, resting tired parts of the mind by using other parts, actively engaging it.
Okay. And spiritual. This one feels more personal.
It is. It's about connecting to your core, your values, your purpose. Could be meditation, prayer, time in nature, music, service, whatever anchors you.
Right, that inner compass, which then connects to the last one.
Definitely. Social emotional. This is renewing our relationships. And how do we do that? By actually using the public victory habits we talked about.
Win-win. Seek first to understand. Synergize.
Exactly. Applying those principles consistently builds and rebuilds those connections. It's where your inner renewal shows up externally.
That makes sense. And this all feeds into something Covey called the upward spiral.
Yes. The upward spiral. It keeps this whole thing dynamic. It's not just a checklist. It's 3 steps. Learn, commit, and do.
Learn, commit, do. Okay.
You learn something, maybe educate your conscience on a principle, and you consciously commit to it. That's the key step, deciding, I will do this, and then you actually do it.
And the doing informs the next learning.
Precisely. It becomes a cycle of continuous improvement. You learn, commit, do, learn more from the doing, commit at a higher level, do more effectively. It keeps the habits alive and evolving for you.
Gotcha. Now, what about that feeling, that taking time for self-renewal is kind of selfish?
Yeah, that comes up a lot.
The airplane analogy is perfect here, isn't it? Put your own oxygen mask on first.
Exactly. You can't help anyone else if you're passed out. You can't give what you don't have.
So renewal isn't selfish at all. It's actually the foundation for being able to contribute anything sustainably. It's maybe the least selfish thing you can do long term.
Well put. It's the necessary investment.
Okay, so let's make this really practical for everyone listening. 2 quick takeaways. First, the dull blade audit.
Okay.
Just think about those 4 dimensions. Physical, mental, spiritual, social, emotional. Which one feels the most neglected right now?
Just identify the dullest spot.
And pick one small thing, tiny, something you can do today to sharpen that area. Take the stairs, read 5 pages, 5 minutes of quiet, text a friend. Just one thing.
Commit and do. Love it. Simple start.
And second, we've put a simple table in the show notes, my weekly renewal plan. It just helps you think ahead and maybe schedule something for each dimension in the coming week.
Proactive planning makes a huge difference. Takes it from should do to will do.
Absolutely. So wrapping up, Habit 7 really is the engine for the whole 7 Habits journey, isn't it?
It makes it all work long term. Turns it into that living framework for growth.
So the power's there. Find your dullest blade. Do one small thing today. Maybe plan for the week. Sharpen your saw.
Start your own upward spiral.
That's all for this episode of the Deep Dive Cast. Thanks for joining us. We hope you gained some valuable insights. Be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world's best ideas. Until then, keep learning and growing.